Up. It looks like we are live. Hi, everyone.
Everyone.
We've already got 5 people viewing. That is super excited. We're going to take some time to allow people to tune into our broadcast this evening, but it is the first Friday of Veguary, and we are here for the food and fun and fellowship with this virtual happy hour. So we're going to be making different drinks and recipes from cookbooks by Black vegans. So we look forward to sharing this with you tonight. And while we let people trickle on into the broadcast, thank you for liking. Yes, like this video, comment, let us know where you're from. We're going to introduce ourselves, and then we're going to do a little bit of roll call too to see who else is in the building with us, the virtual building with us tonight. So I am Jessica. I am the director of programming at Afro-Vegan Society, and I'm so excited to be here. Who wants to go next?
Okay, I'll go next. I'm Jamila. I'm the marketing director of Afro-Vegan Society, and I'm just as excited as well.
I'm Jasmine. I'm the director of donor relations. I'm just excited to eat. I just want to eat right now.
Facts.
Yes.
I'm Ray. I am the operations director. Happy to be here. I've been working hard putting together my concoction, and most important concoction. But food is good too, so exciting to share here. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, we are here. Oh, and we see the comments strolling in. So Rochelle Parker is here. Hi, Rochelle. Thanks for tuning in with us. Nikkei. Oh, hi, Nikkei. Afro Latina Mundo is here. Yes, Afro Latinas, Afro people across the world. We're glad you're in the building tonight. We got Patrice and Raymond, and we got Carol Wynn Green here from Des Moines, Iowa. So as you're checking into the live tonight, let us know where you're from, and we will definitely be shouting you out. Let us know if you like what you see. So we're going to be interacting all night long. So this is a super fun live. We're also doing a giveaway tonight. So we have some amazing merch at Afro-Vegan Society on Teespring. So we're going to be giving away 3 different prizes tonight. So we will tell you how to enter a little bit later in the broadcast. But I'm repping tonight. I have my Black Vegans Unite t-shirt on. So yeah, I'm rocking some gear, but we have coffee cups, we have mugs, we have t-shirts, tote bags, all kinds of stuff. So we will be selecting 3 winners tonight who will all win something from the Teespring shop for Afro-Vegan Society, so you can rep as well. So I think it's only right that happy hour starts off with some drinks, right?
Ooh.
So yes, so we can go around. Let's go around and say what we're going to be making, and then maybe Jamila, we'll start with you and have you do your drink first. So mine still is situating a little bit, but I'm going to be making a ginger beer float, like a root beer float, but with ginger beer. So that's what I'm making tonight.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be making a mezcal watermelon margarita. Sounds so tasty. Ooh.
I'm going to be making a strawberry coconut cream sparkling drink.
Ooh, yum.
And I am going to make my creation, Ray's Blood Orange Margarita. I'm making both a version and a virgin one.
Lovely. So we've got a delicious variety of drinks going on tonight. And we've got some mocktails or some virgin drinks. We got a little alcohol going on if you want to have a sip. We got multiple ways to make margaritas. So with that, Jamila, let's have you take it away with your cocktail recipe.
Absolutely, y'all. And please excuse me because I'm gonna have to blend. It called for fresh watermelon, but I wanted to get like frozen watermelon instead, just because let's just like skip the step of ice. Ice is like not hard to come by, but don't nobody want to pick up ice in the winter. You know what I'm saying? So I'm about to grab the frozen watermelon and put it in my blender. So give me 1 second, y'all. Okay. And I will definitely mute myself as I blend. But yes, it calls for some seltzer water. It calls for, once again, fresh or frozen watermelon. And it calls for obviously mezcal, but I don't know what mezcal really is. So I just got margarita mix, lime, and I also have a fresh lime as well. So I'm going to start by putting my base into my blender. I have like a any day type of blend text. So you don't have to be fancy, y'all. So I'm about to put in about 1.5 cups of plain seltzer water. And I just have Pellegrino. You could use whatever brand you want. I just, seltzer water to be real. Okay, great. So pouring in 1.5 cups or 12 ounces. So just pouring and pouring until it reaches the 12-ounce mark. Okay, great. Perfect. Stopping there. And I'm going to chop up a little bit of a lime. And what I like to do before I chop up limes or lemons or any type of citrus fruits, I like to roll it on the counter or on my, what is that called? Cutting board, something like that. I like to put a little bit of pressure on it and just roll it. Kind of get those juices flowing, you feel me? So I am just giving a little bit of, put your strength on it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, great. So I'm going to cut it in half. And going to put the juice inside as well. And when I like to blend, I always like to start off with my bases. I don't know what kind of blender you have. I know it depends on the blender, but I like to start with the bases first. So I'm going to put all my liquids in first. And I'm so glad, once again, that I did not buy ice, because there's something about ice in a blender. I don't know. Me and ice and blenders do not mix. So I'm going to discard this. And now it is time to put in my frozen watermelon. Look, you can buy fresh watermelon. I surprisingly do not like watermelon, so I wanted to get something that just didn't have the texture of watermelon, even though watermelon's watermelon. So the frozen one will definitely do. And it calls for 2 cups of watermelon, fresh watermelon. But right here in this frozen bag, it has 12 ounces. So I'm gonna just do what I gotta do. And once again, for me, since I don't really like watermelon, the less watermelon, the better. But you could do more or less. Okay, so now putting that inside. Okay. All right, you see it all fizzy? I know y'all can't hear it right now, but it fizzed a bunch. I love to hear it. Okay, great. And then now it calls for the alcohol. It also called for jalapeno pepper. So I like spicy food, spicy drinks as well. So if you're not really into the spiciness, don't worry about it. But I'm going to be adding a little bit of jalapeno. And also, jalapeno gives it a nice vinegary flavor. I'm not too sure if y'all have tasted marinated jalapenos, but jalapenos give things such a great southwestern vinegary taste on top of the very mild spice. So it calls for stripping it into 4 thin slices. So that's exactly what we gotta do. So give me 1 second, y'all. Okay. So I'm just gonna put it on for, this is a big old jalapeno, by the way. So I'm gonna have to make it real thin. So if you're not really into spicy type drinks, you can omit this. It's completely optional. But since I do, that's what's about to happen today. All right, and it also calls for having the seeds removed. If you don't know about spicy peppers or any types of things like that, it is the seeds. Actually, it's not the seeds that make it spicy. It's the little inside skin that makes peppers spicy. So if you want to avoid that as well, you can cut that out. It calls for the seeds to be removed. And that's actually what I'm about to do. So just de-seed it. And de-seeding is as simple as just removing the seeds. You can just wipe it off. Okay, great. So I have 4 thin slices. All right, and I'm about to put it in. So I have my seltzer water, my watermelon chunks, my lime juice, and now I just put in my thin slices of jalapeno. And now I'm going to add that alcohol. So once again, I have the Margarita island lime flavor, because you can't have enough lime. That's just me. But it calls for let me see. I might actually put a little bit less. It calls for half a cup of mezcal. And because I'm not too sure. I wasn't able to really find that at my local liquor store. So I'm going to add half a cup, maybe less, because I'm not a drinker at all. Add less to it because I don't know how strong it is. I know it's Friday night. I know we all want to turn up, but we have to be real responsible. So I have about half a cup of my margarita mix or margarita drink. Poured it right into my blender. And now we about to blend it up, y'all. Give me 1 second. Putting things away with my short little, tiny little counter space. Okay, so I'm probably just going to mute myself right now, but I'm about to blend it up. So give me 1 second. It's going to be real loud. So let me try to, if I can't mute myself, then bear with me. Cover your ears. All right. And blend it up for about, just until smooth. All those types of things. All right. Brace yourself, y'all. In 3, 2, 1. And once again, I'm going to be putting this on like high because this is frozen watermelon, not fresh. All right, 3, 2, 1. And it looks blended to me. And thanks for the comments, y'all. Yeah, absolutely. The virgin version will be just as good. And once again, I'm not much of a drinker, so I'm gonna only have a sip, but I can guarantee you this is good. Y'all can't see it. It looks a little bit like it's all frothy and it's pink and it's beautiful. But this definitely does look like something that would be at a little restaurant, you know what I'm saying? For an actual legit happy hour. So I have my cup, I have my drink. Let me pour it on. Oh, look at this. Oh, are y'all seeing what I'm seeing? Ooh, yes. Don't mind if I do. Great. Okay, so.
That is looking so good, Jamila. We're about to join you back on screen now. And let's see. How do we like that? Ooh, yes. Watermelon mezcal margarita, delicious.
Yes.
So good. Now, is this an original recipe or are you working from a cookbook? I think we got so excited, or maybe I was so excited that we did not introduce the cookbook that we're cooking from tonight. So, was this from the cookbook you're cooking from?
Actually, this is from the website of Sweet Potato Soul. I'm working from Janae Claiborne Sweet Potato Soul's cookbook from a couple years ago, and this recipe is from her website straight up.
Awesome. Nice. Do you have the book? Can you show folks the book?
I unfortunately do not have the book.
No worries. No worries.
Well,
Yeah, it's a very popular book, so you've probably seen it before. The drink I'm about to share right now is super simple. First of all, that looks really good. I love watermelon, so anything watermelon is just sounding like amazing to me. And watermelon and jalapeno sounds like an unexpectedly good combination also. So that sounds super interesting. Yeah. Okay, so the drink I'm about to make is barely even a recipe. It's just two things. I'm a kid at heart. I think I announce that more often than not. So I love floats. I was like, let's make this drink into a dessert situation. So I'm going to come on screen and show you all what I'm making today. So ice cream float, right? Made with ice cream. I did not have the chance to get to the store and get ice cream. Luckily, we are living in a day and age where vegan ice creams are widely available, but I did not have the chance to go to the store and pick up a vegan ice cream before this. So I made my own. I'm still working on perfecting my recipe, but I like to use Japanese sweet potatoes, cashews, and plant milk. And then of course, like vanilla and, sweetener and things like that. So I'm still working on getting it just right, but I'm working on creating this vegan ice cream recipe that you don't need an ice cream maker for. You can just blend it up and freeze it and it's ready to scoop. So this is the result of this blend. And because I'm making a ginger beer float, I also put some ground ginger in this. So I am scooping this on in to my cup. I think 1 scoop is enough. So here we have our scoop of dairy-free vegan ice cream here. And then I got some ginger beer. Now, once again, I got this ginger beer from Aldi. So it was a great price, but this is not like the pepperiest Jamaican ginger beer you can get. So that's my preferred kind of ginger beer, especially if it's like darker in color. But this is going to be just delicious as well. And I'm just going to very carefully pour this over so that it does not overflow. All right, so I think that's a good stopping point. And my ice cream's kind of sitting at the bottom here, so let me work with it so it's actually floating. Here we go. Ooh, it's active. But yes, we have a delicious, frothy ginger beer float. Very, very simple to make. Oh, so this isn't, it is sweet potato ice cream. Yeah, it's made with Japanese sweet potatoes. And honestly, they are one of my favorite things to cook with, especially when you're making sweet dairy-free things, because they have the most neutral flavor and they're the naturally sweetest. So there's so many things. I feel like I'm on the tip of the iceberg in terms of like discovering all the things you can do with Japanese sweet potatoes in terms of making dairy-free options. But this float, I'm super excited to try right now. And I am going to bring the team back on the screen so we can see who's making the next cocktail tonight. So Jasmine, do you want to go next?
Yep, I'll go next. Now I just have the cookbook that Jamila's making hers from. So here it was here. And this is the recipe that she was using, the spicy watermelon margarita. Okay, so for my drink tonight, I'm doing a berry coconut cream sparkling drink. I'll go ahead and show the ingredients that I'm using. So I have some coconut milk here. I got this from Whole Foods. I have some frozen strawberries here. Of course, I have my sparkling water. You can use the Pellegrino like Jamila has, but I got this from Whole Foods. It's the generic brand. And some pure cane sugar. So prior to starting the video on the happy hour tonight, I went ahead and I covered my strawberries with some new sugar to help pull the juices out, and then I smashed them. So this is what we have here. I'm just gonna go ahead and pour that into my cup. Hopefully I don't make a mess. Alright, this is looking like so far. Just sugar and strawberries. Now I'm gonna take 2 tablespoons of my coconut milk. And add that right into my cup. Okay, you see this nice little white and pink, nice colors going on. And lastly, you just go ahead and top that off with the sparkling water. There's some issues getting it open. Right. I'm just going to slowly pour it in. And there you have it. You see the nice little colors, the pink, the red, and the white. Looks so good, so I'm just go ahead and stir that around. And that's it for me. I'll go ahead and give that a try. It tastes good. It tastes really good.
I'm on mute. That looks so good. It's so pretty too.
I know.
I love pretty food. It makes it more fun to eat, I feel like. And also, I feel like people are loving your shirt, Jasmine, as well. So,
thank you.
Yes.
Very nice.
Love it.
Where'd you get it from?
I actually got this back in 2017. It was from the brand Urban Black Vegan. I'm not sure if he's too active on or like social media now, but it was about 5 years ago. It's still really strong.
Very nice.
Quality shirt.
All right, so Ray, I know you're doing margaritas 2 ways, so the spotlight is coming to you.
Okay, so first, everyone's drink is delicious sounding. I hate to follow it. I'm trying to do my best. Jess, I do want to get that ice cream. So when you figure out how to ship your ice cream, please send it my way. Thank you. So just a little story. In a past life, I used to bartend briefly, um, and I would say past, but it's really past and current. Um, Anytime there's an event or anything like that, like I'm usually look to mix concoctions together. So it's just fun trying out new things. So I was trying a couple things today. So hopefully everyone likes it. So as I mentioned, I'll be doing margaritas two ways, one with alcohol and one without. I'm going to get started on the alcohol one first. Now, again, this is my recipe, but feel free to copy it down. I'm going to release the copyrights because you know it's Veguary. This is your Veguary free discount. Go ahead and take advantage of it if you'd like. Hopefully you can see, but if the recipes will be on the website. I'm just going to read from right here, just to do everything as I'm going. Okay. So again, we're starting with the alcohol, and I'm going to do shooters for that. Okay. So it starts with 5 ounces of blood orange juice. Now I took actual blood oranges. It's pretty easy to get right now. I did have a juicer, but if you don't, you can totally squeeze this yourself. Now, some people have the handheld one where you can just mush them down and squeeze it out. I did not. And as Jamila mentioned with some of her things, it's all about improvising, okay? Don't get stressed out if you're looking at a recipe and it's like, oh, that's too much to do, or I don't have that. I don't even know how to get that. You know what you like. You know what's in your refrigerator. You know what's in your cabinets. Make do, okay? You've been making do before, so do not get discouraged. So what I did have was this handy dandy tool. It's simple. It's a handheld like juicer. I use it for different things, lemon, lime, when I want a little bit of splash in something, no matter what it is. So I did put some of the blood oranges in here. The reason why was because I wanted to have some pulp for the actual cocktail, which is the virgin. So I did squeeze some of that in here. So you could use this. You just slice open the orange, put 2 to 3 wedges in here, hold it over your glass, squeeze, turn to the side, and you'll get the juice out of it. Now, for 5 ounces of the blood orange juice, takes about 6 blood oranges, about medium-sized blood oranges. Nothing too hard. So I have a whole lot of blood orange juice here. Please don't ask me how many, because I did have to get some more from the store via Instacart. But this is the first time juicing with blood oranges. Again, I made this recipe up today. So I am going to take this and pour out 5 ounces in my measuring cup. All right. So 5 ounces of blood orange juice. Next, we're going to do a ½ ounce of lime vodka. Okay. Now you might see like margaritas, depending on how much you like margaritas, that they might use like some lime juice or something like that. I'm not taking my drinks up a notch. I like to make drinks that are either fruity or firm, depending on my audience. I made this where if someone had an event and some people like fruity, some people like strong, this is going to please everyone's palate. And remember, you can adapt this any way that you want based on what you have and based on your liking. So I'm going to do, again, a ½ ounce of lime vodka. So I do have one of the jiggers already that has that measured out, but you could use anything that you have in your home to measure these things out. So ½ ounce of lime vodka. Now the lime vodka that I'm using is called Western Sun. They have several flavors. Everything that I'm going to use here is vegan. A good amount of your liquors are vegan friendly, obviously unless they have cream. I believe Bailey's does have a vegan one, but it's always good just to do your research if you're in the liquor store. I know there is an app called Barnivore, I believe. You can check that out. But just, it never hurts to check it out beforehand so that you're aware. Next, moving on to the tequila, and I'm using Blanco tequila, which is one of the better things to use. So it's to be and a half. And I'm using the brand San Mateus. So being an ounce and a half, I'm going to use both sides of these. Now, normally when I'm making a drink, you know how they say they let the ancestors guide you when you're seasoning? I'm quite sure I might have had some ancestors that might have did some hooch or something like that. Things naturally for the sake of, and I think honestly that's what took me so long, was trying to get actual measurements. So I can't just say, well, just feel it out, because some of you may make things feel it out and then on the floor and feeling the floor. So we don't want that to happen. So I do have these measurements for you. And again, you can adapt them. If you taste it like, oh, it's a little too strong or a little too weak, you can pour or you can lessen them. Next up, we have an ounce half of triple sec. You may be asking, if you know what triple sec is, it's like an orange flavor curd. You may be asking, like blood orange, do you really need triple sec? Actually, you do. It does taste, it has like a deeper type of taste. It goes beyond the sweet that you might get from an orange. So I'm going to do again an ounce and a half of triple sec. Next up, elderflower liquor. Now I like swimming. They do have some in the stores that are generic brands. You get that. You're asking, I've heard of elderflower. I haven't. Are you putting something that tastes like a flower in your margarita? Try out the recipe and you will thank me. Matter of fact, if you do, let us know. This is an actual, again, I'm giving up all copyrights to this. Again, if it was Veguary, it would be different. You'd have to send me money, but I'm giving this away for free. So we're just going to put a 1/4 ounce of the elderflower. All you need is a little bit. I'm going to take half of this, put it in this 1/2 size. A little bit goes a long way, a very long way. And finally, a tablespoon of agave. Why did I put agave in here? Well, obviously blood oranges have the tartness. Margaritas have the tartness. But once you mix everything together, sometimes you want to control the sweet. And so with this, I saw that it needed just a little touch of sweet. So use my favorite agave, just a tablespoon. And I'm going to pour that. It's a tablespoon. Ready? Now we're ready for the good part. Now I too am like Jamila, outside of the fact that I don't like watermelon. I don't do ice either. That goes back to a childhood story that we don't have the time to get into. But I don't do ice. So I did have, my man was kind enough to go to the store and get me some crushed. And I do like to chomp on ice. So this will actually be like some kind of dessert later. A little bit of ice and thicker. Pour out in. Here's the part we're going to get down and get funky with it. Pick it up. A little bit of soul into it. You do a little dash to it. You can do a snake. You can do any dance you want. Whatever gets the shape. All right. That's going to make just over. It's going to take, depending on this, how generous you are with your shots, or you know your audience. Maybe you have somebody who is like, oh, I want to drink, but the smallest hints of liquor out on the floor, and you don't feel like picking. You can just pour as you want. It will give you at least 6, but it can probably stretch to 8, 10. You can add juice or liquor as you please in order to stretch out. Now that is the shot, and you can do a garnish. So you can take one of your blood orange pieces and you can either put it in, or you can put on the side, whichever pleases you to make it pretty. Now some people do like their margaritas with the salt on the rim. You can get creative with it. You could do salt or sugar. Kosher salt is good. You could also take some of the orange juice and put it in there, mix up, and then you can line the rim. You line the rim with the orange, or you can do a lime, and you just line the rim and you put it in there with the sugar or the salt and stick it on there. So this is the alcoholic version. Cheers to you. Veguary. I'll get to the rest of these
Yay,
later.
delicious. Cheers, everyone. Let's all
Cheers.
cheers to a successful and enlightening Veguary. And if you all are watching and you're sipping on something, let us know what you're sipping on with us while we have this vegan happy hour celebrating the first week of Veguary, or let us know what your favorite drink is to make at home or order out. We want to hear from you. We're always looking for new inspiration, and we're always learning from each other in the comment section. So we love that. And so now it's time to get into these recipes. I'm super excited about this as well. So we got some delicious food coming up tonight. I think this is a good time to
Just if
introduce
we
the
run
book.
short on time. I'm sorry, did we run short on time? If so, I'll put the virgin recipe on the website.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, because it's
Okay,
we're
cool.
already at 6:30. Yeah, so
Okay, cool. I'll put the
Yeah.
recipe on the website. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
perfect. Yes. Okay. So let's introduce the cookbooks that we're going to be cooking from today. We can kind of go in around, and then we'll each break out and show how to make a portion of each recipe, and then we'll come together and plate and, most importantly, eat. So for me today, I am cooking from Living Lively by Haley Thomas. This book came out last summer, and it's like a mindfulness and wellness book mixed with a cookbook. So there's a lot of great recipes in here. And I'm making what she calls her potachos, aka potato nachos. So instead of using tortilla chips, we're going to be making some potato chips. And I'm just basically going to be doing my version or my interpretation of her recipe. So this is going to be really good. I have my ingredients laid out, and I'm excited to show you my interpretation of this recipe.
All right, and I don't have the book itself. Luckily, Jasmine does, so pretend I have it in my hands right here. But yeah, I'm going to be making the Low Country grits on page 60 of the Sweet Potato Soul cookbook. So I don't even know what to expect because I know country grits, never done this before. So this is going to be really, really exciting. Mhm. Yes, can't you see that, y'all? Look, we about to throw down today.
Yes.
That looks delicious.
Okay, I'm making mine from Rachel Almus Vegan Eats. I believe she's from the UK, but I'm making the 3-ingredient pancakes because I'm a simple person, and I love, when I have to make the food, I like it to be as simple as possible. So I'm doing 3-ingredient pancakes, and this is for my people that love breakfast food for dinner. This is for
I
y'all.
love breakfast for dinner.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so I am doing The Lusty Vegan by Chef Allende Howe and the Eisenberg. And I'll be cooking from page 146 and 147. It's going to be habanero fajitas. Now in the book, he has jackfruit fajitas. Jackfruits can be a little bit complicated, a lot of rules and alterations. So I am going to be making that with seitan, and it's going to be a prepackaged one done by company. So it'll be quick and easy for you.
Delicious. So yeah, I think we have a really tasty and diverse spread that we're going to be sharing some insights on how we prepare today, just to show you not only the diversity of vegan food you can enjoy, but also how many styles there are of cooking. You know, these chefs have created these recipes, and we're going to be putting our own spin on them, improvising based off of our taste preferences and what we have available to us. So that is the beauty of plant-based eating, is versatility. So yeah, we hope you're inspired. And if you're cooking something up, or you're eating something, you picked up some takeout and you're like eating with us as we cook, let us know what you're eating on. But do that ongoingly. But now is the time also for us to announce how to enter today's giveaway. So if you're just joining, we are doing a giveaway today, and we are giving 3 winners an item from the Afro-Vegan Society Teespring merch shop. So today I'm wearing my Afro-Vegans Unite shirt, but we have some Afro-Vegan Society t-shirts and cups. We have phone cases, tote bags, all type of things. So we're going to be picking 3 winners today, and what you need to do to enter is basically write down the best vegan meal you've had. What was it? And write hashtag Veguary. write that in the comments throughout the rest of this broadcast. And when it concludes, we will randomly select 3 winners. And so this is going to be fun. Don't forget to enter the best vegan meal you've ever eaten. What was the dish? And hashtag Veguary so we can select today. So with that said, I will hop in and get it kicked off. And then we will come back to the group and do our rounds, okay? All right. So, like I said, I am making potatoes from Living Lively by Haley Thomas. And so, let's see if you can see that. Here is her recipe. And basically her recipe uses smashed potatoes. So what she does is she steams the potatoes and then she smashes them down to flatten them. And then she puts her delicious like vegan cheese sauce on top. So what I'm going to do is make my vegan cheese sauce first, and then I have a different method for preparing potato chips in the oven. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So her recipe is for a green chili cheese sauce, and green chilies are delicious. She uses green chilies, but I'm going to be swapping it out for chipotle peppers. It's what I already had in my pantry, and I just love the smokiness and the heat of chipotle peppers. So that is what I'm going to use in my vegan cheese sauce today. So I have a blender cup here. I use the same blender for the smoothie demo that I did on Tuesday, and people asked. So this is the base. This is the blender cup. There's like a tall one and a shorter one, and then this is the lid, and it's called the Beast Blender. So if you're curious, I love it. It's compact. It's super effective. That's what I'm using today. So I'm going to put in 1/2 cup of cannellini beans. You could use any white bean, honestly. I like cannellini beans. They're really soft and creamy, so they're going to give you that texture that you want in a cheese sauce. I'm also going to use 1/2 cup of cashews. She calls for raw cashews, but I've tested different vegan cheese recipes using roasted cashews, and they work just fine. So I'm using 1/2 cup of roasted cashews, but use whatever you like. I also have 1 medium steamed carrot that's been chopped, so it's already cooked. Putting that in there. And then I'm going to add in 1 chipotle pepper. You could do more. I like mild spice. I don't like it too spicy. So I'm going to add some of this adobo sauce as well, just to add extra flavor in. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to go in with nutritional yeast. If you are new to vegan eating or plant-based eating, nutritional yeast is an amazing wonder ingredient. It's a superfood. It's an excellent source of plant-based B12, and it gives your recipes a vegan cheesy taste. So it has that kind of toasty, nutty, cheesy flavor, and you see it used in lots of vegan cheese recipes. What else do I want to say about it? You can find it at specialty grocery stores and stuff. I usually order mine on the internet because I just find the best deal. So I end up purchasing from this brand, Anthony's. I don't know if you can see that. And I usually buy from Amazon. So you get a 1 pound bag for like $10-ish. But for me, I cook a lot. I cook a lot. And a bag like this will last me probably like 2 months. So I think it's a good investment. So I'm going to go in with about 2 heaping tablespoons of nutritional yeast, because flavor is everything. We want these flavors to be amazing. Then I'm going to go in with about 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin. I'm going to go in with, actually I'm going to save these. I have some crushed red pepper flakes, but I'm going to save those for garnish. I also have some onion powder. So I'm going to go in with about 1 teaspoon of onion powder. And then I'm also going to go in with 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. And I'm eyeballing everything, but you know, if you need to measure, feel free to measure and always adjust to your preferences. Recipes provide a great jumping off point if you haven't cooked vegan food before, but you know, try out a recipe and then make adjustments as you go, and then you learn how to make your signature dishes to your taste. I'm also going to add in just a pinch of sea salt. You can always add more, but I'm going to start off very sparingly to start. Oh, and then I almost forgot, vegan butter. So this calls for, I think, 1 to 2 tablespoons of vegan butter. I don't know if I have that much, but I'm going to use what I have. And this is just going to give it some richness, some luscious velvetiness. You know, I love being descriptive, pulling out all of my cooking vocabulary words when I do things like this. So we are going to screw on our base now, nice and tight. And then we are going to basically blend these until smooth. Okay, so because all of the ingredients were so soft, we have now this creamy sauce all blended up. I hope you can see that. Let me just kind of stir it around for you a little bit so you can see the texture that you're going to be going for. A nice, thick and creamy plant-based cheese sauce, dairy-free, none of the complications of consuming dairy, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so we have our sauce done. The next thing that I'm going to prepare right now is show you how I do my baked potato chips. So I love a crispy potato, French fries, chips, all that stuff. And I like to make them in my air fryer. And I like to cook with as little added fat and oil as possible. It's just my personal preference. I find that my body responds to it better. And also it's more affordable. Oils are expensive. So cooking with oil or without oil is just a more economical option, and it tends to be a little healthier too, depending on what your health goals are. So I have here, I think this is russet potatoes. Honestly, this works with just about any kind of potato. You can peel them. I like to leave the skin on, but you can peel them also. And basically, I'm just slicing them, cutting the ends off, and then slicing them into, I don't know, maybe 1/8 inch slices. So not the thinnest in the world. You want it to be sturdy because this is going to be a nacho and we're going to be putting things on top of it. So we want it to be a bit sturdy. So it doesn't need to be like paper thin. But yes, I'm just cutting this potato up. Okay, so you get the gist. Here are my potatoes sliced. Okay. Kind of get the gist of how thick they are. They're like thin, but they're not paper thin, right? So what I do with these potatoes is I put them in a pot and I bring them to a boil and let them cook for like 2 minutes. So you do not want to cook them until tender at all. You just want to get them started. What that does is it helps to draw the moisture out of the potato. So then what I do after they've steamed is I have an air fryer, but you could do this in a regular oven too. You want to get a vented pan. And then I just put my potato slices on my pan and I cook them until they're crispy on both sides. That's all I do. Very, very simple. You can season them if you want, but we're going to have so many toppings that I'm going to keep these plain so that they are the perfect vessel for all the delicious potato toppings we're going to put on top. But yeah, so I cook these at 400 degrees in a preheated oven for like 25 minutes. Flipping it after about 10 minutes, you know they're done because they start to get golden brown. They puff up. They're like little potato pillows, but they're crispy on the outside and they're creamy on the inside. They're so good. So when you see me again, what I'm going to be doing is taking my crispy potato chips, layering them up with all the amazing other ingredients I have here. I've got toppings galore, and I will show you them when it comes back around to me, and then loading it up with our delicious plant-based chipotle cheese sauce. So the recipe says you can put this in a saucepan. So I'm also going to put this in a saucepan and bring it to a simmer just so it's heated through. And we have a nice hot and steamy cheesy vegan cheese sauce for our potatoes. So with that said, let's get back to the group and see what they're doing over there. I know folks are prepping right now. And are we ready for our next chef to show which recipe you'll be preparing? Jamila, do you want to go up next again?
Absolutely. Let's get started. Okay, y'all. So, yeah. Perfect. So, for the grits, obviously grits are grits. What I got here is just instant grits. Usually I get like, old-fashioned grits or whatever. but I had to do what I had to do, is what I'm saying. So do what you have to do. But I got myself some instant grits. So I'll be making those towards the end because it's going to take 2 seconds to make. So I'm starting with the filling or the toppings of the grits. So it calls for the white part or the ends of a spring onion or a scallion. It also calls for jalapenos, and it also calls for chopped garlic. So if you're one of those people who love to chop garlic and all those types of things, do that. I did not. I love chopping garlic. Garlic is amazing, but I don't know. There's just something about like garlic that can be really frustrating, especially in a live setting, in my opinion. So I decided to omit that and just go with a ton of garlic powder instead. And once again, garlic powder is in most seasonings because this recipe also calls for Old Bay, which clearly has garlic in it. You know, we in Maryland up in here, so you know I have to have my Old Bay. And this is like country grits, so we want to have like a nice Creole type sensation with this. So I have my Creole seasoning as well. And you can buy this at any store really, but I got this at something called Pepper Palace because once again, spicy is the best in my opinion. So what I'm going to be doing now that I have my little vegetables chopped up, I'm going to transfer it to my skillet so I can saute them and add the other toppings. So here I am. Hopefully y'all can see me. I got my skillet right here. And I have my jalapeno and white part of a spring onion right here. So what I like to do, just like what Jessica was saying, obviously to saute something, you usually use oil. I like to use as little oil as possible. So I'm just going to probably do like maybe a teaspoon. I think it calls for a little bit more than that, but I'm going to probably do about a teaspoon because I just, you know, we don't need to do a lot of oil. It's already going to be pretty savory and all those types of things. So the flavors will be there. We don't need that much oil. So now I'm rolling it around in my skillet. And once again, this was just half a teaspoon. That is perfectly enough. And it calls for olive oil or grapeseed oil. I'm just using some vegetable oil. So whatever oil is afforded to you, you can definitely use that. And this is once again on, I'm not too sure if I mentioned it, this is on medium-high heat. So now that I have that all together, I'm going to add the white part of the scallion and the jalapeno into the skillet. And with a spatula, I'm just going to mix this around. And let me tell y'all, it already smells really good. We all know that onions, garlic, all those aromatic type herby root veggies, whatever you call them, oh, they just smell good. They don't even need onions. I mean, they don't even need seasoning. Ooh, and it's kind of popping a little bit too. Ooh, nice. So I'm going to be sauteing this for a little bit. Once again, on medium-high heat, just stirring them around, nothing special. And as I leave those on, I'm going to take out the other toppings that I need to put in the skillet as well. And that will be artichoke hearts, zucchini, diced tomatoes, and corn, and sausage, which is going to be really great. I'm very, very excited about that. I love myself some vegan sausage. So tasty. So I'll just bring them over right now. So I got myself some canned, you can get yourself fresh artichoke hearts, you can get yourself fresh tomatoes as well. But I wanted to get the fire roasted tomatoes. Fire roasted, doesn't that just sound tasty? And I want this to be as smoky as possible without it being overwhelming. So I wanted to get the fire roasted. I just got myself some quartered, canned and marinated artichoke hearts. And I have my frozen corn thawed. There's half a cup of this for this. And didn't forget about my skillet. So I'm going to keep making sure that I stir it around, let it saute so I don't let them get too brown all the way through because it's going to keep cooking, obviously. All right now. So I'm going to put all of the mixture into this, not necessarily the mixture, but the toppings. I'm going to actually even pick out the sausage really soon too. I wanted to keep it as what is it word called? Refrigerated as possible, because I do not want to have my perishable items sitting out for too long. But I'm just using a Beyond sausage. You can use whatever sausage is important to you that you like the best. I usually use Beyond when it comes to sausages, but that is up to you. There are so many other brands that you can choose from that can be more accessible or affordable to you. So now let's add it. Okay, great. So it calls for the entire can of the fire roasted tomatoes. So I'm just gonna pour it on in. Woo, pop it. It calls for an entire can of the artichoke hearts. Tossing that in. Woo. Ooh, these are not coming out. Come on, artichokes. I was about to say, today's not the day. We're getting hungry. Okay, great. And half a cup of thawed frozen corn. And I also bought the zucchini. I don't know what happened to the zucchini, y'all. It was in my shopping cart. When I had it, I could have sworn I purchased it, but it'd be like that sometimes. That would have been just as tasty. And I'm gonna add half a cup of frozen corn. Woo. I might even add a little more because I love myself some corn, to be honest. Oops. Over half a cup. Okay, great. So let me just show y'all what that looks like really quick. And then I'm going to use my spatula to stir it around a little bit more. Okay, so I'll leave this alone for 2 seconds, and then we're going to chop the sausage. So the sausage calls for it to be 1/4 inch thick. So that can be open to interpretation, just like what Ray said. We use we let our ancestors speak through us when it comes to cooking. So whatever I prefer in the moment is what it's going to be like. So yeah, I guess I'll just cut it into 4s, like a long ways. So I'm going to put that on my chopping board and slice it long ways. I might chop it up a little bit more actually, so that there are basically 8 large chunks. I'm going to put it into my mixture and saute it. And it says to add a cup of water and let it simmer for a while, and that'll be my last step for a while. So I'm going to use my cup, put some filtered water into it, and let it simmer. And that should be it for now, but by the time I get back, you'll definitely see a more robust and thick mixture. All right, getting all heated up.
So are you at a just a cooking point in your recipe, Jamila?
Yeah, we can definitely let it simmer and move on. Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. All right, so Jasmine, are you ready to show us how to make
Yep,
your...
I'm ready.
All right, let's go to Jasmine. Here we go.
All right, guys, so once again, I'm going simple. So for my recipe again, I'm doing Rachel Alma's Vegan Eats her 3-ingredient pancakes. I'm gonna have a little bacon on the side, a little tofu bacon. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the tofu bacon on first. I'm just using this, and the secret to this for tofu is to freeze it. That helps with the texture, and it also helps to, when you're ready to cook it, to take that flavor in. So I already froze it, already thawed it out, and this is what it's looking like. I already sliced it into thin slices. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn my pan onto medium heat. And because it's bacon, I'm gonna be generous with my olive oil because you know bacon has like that fatty texture or the fatty feeling to it. So I'm gonna be generous with the olive oil. Put that around like that. And then I'm just gonna not gonna prop the pan, but I'm just gonna lay it out so that nothing's overlapping. I'm not sure if you can see, but if you look at the texture here, it still has more of like a spongy texture. That's from it freezing, expanding, and then unexpanding, and it gives it that nice texture. So that's that for now. That is that for now. So now our 3-ingredient pancakes. So it calls for some oats. I just have these oats here. I make my own nut milk. It's so easy. This is a game changer. I have my nut milk bag. I soak my walnuts overnight, well, for at least 8 hours. I drain them and I blend it with about 2 cups of water, and then you have milk. When I tell you I haven't bought store-bought milk in so long, because once I learned how to make my own, it's just been me making my own milk. So easy, so convenient. So our oats, our walnut milk, and then our ripe bananas. So I'm gonna go ahead and head over to my blender to blend everything up. So right here, I just have my Vitamix, and I'm gonna just pour everything inside. So I have 1 cup of my nut milk. I have 3/4 cups of my oats. You could probably blend the oats up prior to, and then make like an oat flour, and then mix it up afterwards. But it works just like this with a blender. Now I'm gonna do half of a ripe banana. I'm gonna throw half in there. I'm gonna save the other half from the garnish afterwards. So my pancakes are all done. I'm gonna go ahead and blend. So fix your ear so you don't get oversnored. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend. Okay, so now I'm ready to add some butter to my pan using a cast iron pan. And then for my butter, I just have the Miyoko's Ultra-Vegan butter, and it's just, I believe it's coconut and cashew. I believe I read that somewhere on here. Of course, I can't find it now. Yep, coconut and cashews. So I'm just gonna use about maybe like a tablespoon of it. And throw that into my pan and let the pan heat up. And then here's my pancake mixture. You can see it's nice and smooth. And once my butter melts, I'm gonna go ahead and pour that into a pancake shape, into a circular shape. So while I'm waiting for that to heat up, I'm gonna go ahead and start on my berry shea jam. That's also in Rachel Alma's cookbook. Again, I'm gonna go ahead and use my frozen strawberries. And the cookbook she calls raspberries. I'm not really a raspberry fan because I don't like the little seeds in them, so I just went with the strawberries. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a couple of strawberries to my pot back here. And then I'm gonna add a little maple syrup to that. Okay, I'm gonna let that heat up. Let me just check the recipe. You know, we like to do things on our own, but let me just refer to the recipe to make sure I'm doing this correctly. Yep, so it's the fruit. I'm using strawberries, water, and then maple syrup. So let me go ahead and add the water in. And you add the chia seeds once everything is cooked down. Okay, so my butter is melted. I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure that it's distributed around my pot evenly. Go ahead and pour my pancake mixture in. All right, and that's it for me waiting for now. I'm waiting for my tofu to cook down. I'm gonna flip it once it's golden brown on one side. Wait for my pancakes to turn golden brown, and then it's ready to assemble. Simple, easy, quick, to the point. That's what I love about these simple recipes. So.
Love that, Jasmine. We're coming back to you. And we have one more recipe for Ray to prepare. We look forward to seeing what she's going to make. But we just want to remind you all that we have an ongoing giveaway happening during this live stream where you can win some merch from the AVS Teespring merch site. So enter by putting in your favorite vegan dish and hashtag Veguary, and we will be selecting 3 people randomly to win a t-shirt, a tote bag, a cup, a prize of your choice. So enter now. And with that said, Ray, we're ready for you to take it away.
All right. Welcome back to my house. So, as I mentioned, I was going to do an adaptation as opposed to the jackfruit. And I am using seitan, chili lime seitan by a name Blackbird. Anyone that's familiar with Philly or went, there's a place called Blackbird Pizzeria. They have awesome vegan recipes. They dispense the packages. It's so popular. So they have different flavors, barbecue, rosemary, and this is chili lime seitan. So I felt it went well with that. So for Chef Allende's recipe, he has you first saute the seitan up. I'm going to put oil. Actually, I do have oil in there. I use grapeseed oil. It's a staple in my household. And I've got my sage, kind of roughed it up a little bit, release a little flavor. And I'm going to go ahead and let it saute it and let that get hot. So the butter has like a sage flavor to it. In the meantime, I did chop up my veggies. So I have about a half cup of yellow, a half cup of red, green, and onions. Look at that, delicious and colorful, right? So in his recipe, he sautés them. I like to roast them. The flavors come out a little more for me. What I did was put a dash, maybe about a tablespoon of the grapeseed oil in here along with seasonings. Now, because I'm going to be using habanero and I'm going to go into the seitan, I kept the seasonings light, a dash of salt, dash of pepper. And I also used, this is by Spice Hunter, mango habanero. It really kicks it up a notch. So with that, I've already put everything together, stirred it up, and I'm going to roast these. Shouldn't take long, maybe 15-20 minutes. I'm going to put these all in the oven, make sure they're spread out really well, that everything has a chance to get its time to shine, literally and figuratively. And it also speeds up the time for roasting because everything's spaced out, gets the heat going, and you don't have anything blocking anything. So it's on my roast pan. Looks great. Have the oven on 400. I'm going to put these in there. And when we come back, we'll have that part. So now we've got our oil going. We've got the sage here. I want to show you what the seitan looks like. Nothing too fancy, but you do see the seasoning there. So I'm going to put in there. And sometimes when you get prepackaged seitan, it's kind of chunky and you have to chop it up a lot. But with this particular brand, a lot of it is already chopped up for you, really fine. So you don't have to struggle too much to break everything up, which is great, especially if you're trying to save time. So I'm just going to stretch some of this out a bit. I can smell the sage, actually. It smells really good. Now, along with this seitan, he also requests a couple things. So he asked for brown sugar. What I had was cane sugar. So I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of cane sugar. Now, I'm from Baltimore, so I have the W sauce, the Worcestershire sauce. We say it fast just in case we don't know how to say it right, so we just let it all slide out. So it's going to be 2 tablespoons of that. Next, we're going to have 2 tablespoons of tamari. Now, he calls for the low sodium tamari, which is a gluten-free soy sauce. I like the low sodium too. Unfortunately, the last time I needed a recipe that called for it, they only had the regular, which is a little too salty for me. So because of that, I'm not going to do the 2 tablespoons. I'm just going to do 1. I have a feeling with chili lime habanero seitan, the chili lime seitan will make up for that. So good to go there. Next, nutritional yeast. Spoke on this staple here. I don't use it as often, but I do use it. Let's see, 2 tablespoons of that. Ooh, get a sizzle. I get excited when I hear sizzling. Lets me know the food is cooking. Now, in Chef Howell's recipe, he calls for an habanero hot sauce. I got a mango flavored habanero, and he also calls for putting chopped up habaneros in the seitan, but I didn't want to burn my face off, so I'm just going to do the sauce and use a little bit of that in there. He calls for a half a teaspoon, but because again I don't use the habanero pepper in itself, I'm going to do maybe let's say 3/4 teaspoon. I do want it to have a kicked up a notch. All right, so we've got everything mixed in, and then you do salt and pepper to taste, as you mix it. But I have a feeling because the seitan is already seasoned, we won't really need to do too much of that. So when you come back to me, I am going to not only have our delicious veggies ready, I'm also going to have our fajita wraps together, and we should be just about ready to plate. See you soon.
That is looking so good already, Ray. I'm ready to eat. I feel like everybody in the room is ready to eat. So this is getting to the exciting part of the virtual happy hour for me. I can't even contain myself. Excuse me. But yeah, we're so glad everybody is here with us tonight. It's been so much fun. We have had comments all night long. I just want to take some time to shout out some people who have been commenting and letting us know how they're enjoying tonight. So Kim Johnson, thanks so much for participating, entering into the giveaway. We will be announcing a winner at the close of this stream after we all play. So Kim, thanks for entering. Silver Light, thank you for being with us tonight. Tori, thank you so much for being with us. V. Francis, Gina Burnett, so many people in the room, so many people in the building. We're having a ball. And I mean, this is our second virtual happy hour that we've ever done. And I feel like we need to make this a thing. Like we need to be doing this like on the monthly for real. We were talking about ideas. We're definitely going to be back during the last Friday of Veguary with another virtual happy hour just to celebrate how wonderful this whole month has been. But we were even talking about other ideas we could do in the future. Jasmine mentioned doing a Taco Tuesday theme one. I feel like we could do endless Taco Tuesday happy hours for real. So let us know in the comments if you want to participate in more virtual happy hours and how we can make the experience more engaging for you. Since we cooked from cookbooks this time, we didn't share our ingredients because, these are cookbooks that already exist. So we want you to support these Black vegan chefs who have made these cookbooks and consider purchasing their work or visiting their websites and seeing their recipes. But we're going to be coming back with some vegan wings recipes the last Friday in Veguary, and we will also be sharing out our ingredients list a week in advance so that you can collect your groceries and make whichever recipes look appealing to you along with us. So it's going to be so much fun. I was sipping on this ginger beer float before we came back on, so I'm hyped. There's a lot of sugar in here.
Yeah, I'm drinking mine too. I promise you guys, this is the virgin one. I promise you. So if you see me drinking, please don't think I'm getting lit. That's for after the happy hour.
I know, I'm trying not to drink mine all in one sitting. I'm trying to save it for the meal, but it's so good. I'm like,
yes. So with that said, I'm ready to plate my potatoes, and we're going to do our last round of prep and plating, and then we're going to get into this eating, announce our giveaway winners, and wish you a very happy and relaxing Friday night and the rest of this weekend. So here we go. Let's get into my plating of the potatoes. So I want to show you the result of me cooking my crispy potato chips in the air fryer. If you missed this process, I slice these very thinly, not too thin, but I slice them thin, and then I steam them for about 5 minutes in boiling water. And then I just cook them in the air fryer. I did not add any oil. And you get this beautiful golden brown color. I don't know if you can hear the crunch, but it's crunchy. I'm sorry if that triggers people to hear me chewing in your ear, but they get super crispy.
They look really good.
Thank you. Yes, they're so good. And they don't take that long. I mean,
Wow.
So delicious. So we're going to start off with putting down a base of this delicious Chipotle vegan cheese sauce that I made from Haley Thomas's Living Lively Cookbook. Her recipe is for green chili cheese sauce. I made Chipotle cheese sauce. This is so good. I might have been licking the spoon when I was off camera, but I'm just going to drizzle this all over the chips. I'm going to not go too hard at first because there's a lot of toppings to put on. Now at this point, you can put whatever toppings you like on your nachos here. You could use some crumbles, like some sort of vegan beef crumbles, or lentils or mushrooms or something like that. I'm sticking to the veggies tonight. And so I have some cherry tomatoes that I have chopped up. Sprinkle that on. I have some diced red onion. Sprinkling that on very nicely. Next, I'm going to follow that up with a hit of lime juice, just to, these are tough, just to let the acid hit the onions so that they start to kind of marinate a little bit and are not as strong when I'm biting into them, but still have all their flavor. Next, I have some diced red bell pepper along with some sliced scallions or green onions. So I'm going to sprinkle that across the top. Actually, I'm going to save some of this. I'm going to hit it with some more of this vegan cheese sauce because I like to layer my cheese. This serves as like the whole creamy factor in these potatoes, right? There's going to be some creaminess from the avocado, but we're not doing like a vegan sour cream or anything. So I'm giving myself permission to use this very generously. Next up, I'm going to go in with 1/2 of a ripe diced avocado. Just kind of put that in the middle here. Okay. Then I'm going to hit this with the rest of my scallions and my bell pepper. And then come back just one more time with a little bit of this Chipotle vegan cheesy sauce, dairy-free. So much better than any nacho cheese I ever had before I went vegan. That stuff is like, was that even real cheese, But this is full of real flavor. And I love recipes like this because they're heavy on the things that you love about comfort food. Creamy sauce, crispy chips, right? But they're nourishing. This is a super nourishing dish, full of colors. The colors indicate that they're full of nutritious, phytonutrients and things that keep you strong and healthy so you can enjoy comfort food but still be nourishing yourself. So you don't have to have that like polarization of like, oh, I'm eating for enjoyment versus like, oh, I'm eating to be healthy. Like, no, you can do it all at once. And that is the beauty of being vegan. So I hope you all discover more joys of eating vegan. And with that said, we're going to take it back to the group and get to our next plating. So Jamila, are you ready to plate?
I am ready to plate, y'all.
All right, here she goes.
Okay, great. So now that I have everything put together, so as you already know, I started sauteing jalapenos, artichoke hearts, fire roasted tomatoes, corn, all those types of things, a vegan sausage as well. And I've been letting it simmer on low this whole time. So I didn't like to overcook it and all that type of stuff because we want it to be tender, not soggy. So everything is all nice and meshed together. I'm gonna let y'all know the seasonings I put in this in just a second, but I'm just gonna stir it around again. And I just heated up my grits. So I actually will just plate it pretty much in a second. So let me show y'all what I put in it. So you can put whatever measurements you want of the, seasonings, but I just put whatever I felt like it. That could have been 1 tablespoon to like teaspoon, the 2 teaspoons, whatever feels good for you. I also used some ume plum vinegar that came along with that. You can find that in the Asian section of your grocery store. And I put in low sodium tamari or soy sauce. And for both of those, I put in about a teaspoon, just because, like what Ray said, I like to add things as low sodium as possible. I like to keep my sodium as low as I can, that's as healthy as possible. So because of that, I didn't put too much in, but I probably did put about a teaspoon or more of the Creole seasoning. I let myself go a little bit wild on the Old Bay, you know what I mean? Because how could you not? I added so much garlic. I don't know about y'all, but I'm a garlicaholic, so I put in a lot of garlic, especially since I didn't chop up the garlic at all, and I just wanted to put the powder instead. And on top of that, I put in some red pepper because the spicier the better. And I stirred it all together. And I even put in a little bit of chopped parsley in there, about 1/4 cup of chopped parsley. And nice, it looks so like stewy and beautiful, y'all. I don't know if y'all can tell, but yes. Okay, great. So I also heated up my grits as Jessica was on. Heated up my grits so it's nice and hot. You could add some butter if you want to. You could add some milk. I use some vegan milk to make it a little bit more creamy. I did not want to add any butter because this was instant grits. And, once again, the less salt, the better, in my opinion. Okay, great. So I'm stirring up the grits to make sure it doesn't get a little too chunky. And let me tell y'all, I haven't had grits in so long. I have, my family's from the South, so this used to be a huge staple, especially on Sunday morning before church. Ooh, let me tell you. So I'm stirring up the grits, and I'm about to put on the topping on the grits. So let's see how that looks like here. How can I position it in such a way? Okay, great. So grits, topping. And I'm just going to, the bowl is hot. Okay, great. So, I wish I could show y'all up close without making a mess. Well, this looks all tender and tasty. I'm just gonna put it directly. Excuse me. I forgot to add my nutritional yeast to the grits. And once again, just like what Jessica said earlier, nutritional yeast adds a nice nutty, cheesy flavor, adding B12, all that type of stuff to your foods, your plant foods. And I probably put about a tablespoon in it because I wanted to add my own type of cheese. But once again, I wanted to add as little salt as possible. So I'm mixing around the nutritional yeast into the grits. And luckily the grits are still hot. Okay, great. All right, got my grits. Got my topping. All right. Hopefully y'all can see. Wow. Yo, this looks really good. I'm not gonna lie. Perfect. So I'm gonna add a little bit more. And to be honest, I've never really had artichoke hearts before. So this is gonna be very, very interesting. So this is how it looks so far. It probably doesn't look the most appetizing from my camera, but I can guarantee you this definitely looks like low country grits in my opinion. And it calls for a little bit of parsley and green onion on top, or scallion. So I'm going to do just that. I chopped up a little bit of parsley and I'm gonna sprinkle that on top. And also you can never, ever go wrong with some green onion. Just gonna sprinkle that on top as well. And honestly, a little bit more green onion, please, because yes. Oh my Lord. Look at this, y'all.
That looks so good, Jamila. We are coming back now. And we've had some discussions before as a team, and I have fallen in the category of preferring sweet grits. So I am not really well versed in the in the savory grits equation, but this looked good. So I'm inspired to try some savory grits recipes for sure. So it looks good, and I can't wait till we come back to do our taste test of all of our food together. But with that said, Jasmine, you ready to show us how you plate?
I am.
All right, here you go.
All right, so next up, the bacon is all ready. So let's I'm part of finishing off my little bacon. This is what it's looking like, nice and crispy. I'm gonna go ahead and add my seasoning to it. So what I did was I mixed 1 tablespoon of my coconut aminos, 1 teaspoon of maple syrup, some seasoning. This is just like an Italian blend, some black pepper, some sea salt, and a couple drops of hot sauce. What I'm gonna go ahead and spread it over my tofu bacon. Then I'm gonna take the lid, close this up, and just shake it so that it disperses everything evenly. Y'all can hear it's nice and crispy. Okay, I'm gonna set it to the side so that it can soak up that flavor. But I went ahead and I plated my pancakes, and this is what it's looking like so far. So I got 3 pancakes out of the mixture that I made, and I topped it with some bananas, and I made sort of like this Nutella mixture. So what I did, I took tahini. I took 2 tablespoons of tahini. This is just a sesame seed paste, a splash of vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon of maple syrup, and I mixed that together. I added in a little bit of water just to thin it out a little bit, and then that was my chocolatey spread. So now my chia jam is cooling off, and this is what it's looking like. So go ahead and give that mix. So after I boiled it with the water, the berries, and the maple syrup, I then added in the chia seeds as a last step without adding any heat to it. And what the chia seeds do, and a lot of like the flax seeds and chia seeds, it helps give like a gelatinous texture to it. So this is what helps thicken up our jam. So I'm gonna just go ahead and throw that over top of my pancakes. And I just love the flavors I have going on here. You know, I have fresh fruit, the berries, and the chocolate. I just think berries and chocolate just go so good together. All right. What's so nice about making your own jam, you can control how much or how little sugar you in it. So that's the plus about that. So I'm just gonna get my bacon in one list, twirl to soak up that flavor, and I'm gonna go ahead and eat it. And this is what it's looking like. Let's go ahead and plate everything. We have our pancakes for that nice fluffy, like bready, and then we have our bacon for the salty crispiness. Like that, and it's looking really good. There we go, guys. We have breakfast for dinner. Nice jam, chocolate sauce, and fresh fruit. Then our bacon. Nice and simple, y'all. Nice and simple.
Those pancakes look perfect, Jasmine.
Thank
Wow.
you.
Yes. Your breakfast for dinner also almost looks like dessert. You know what I mean? So, 'cause with the chocolate sauce, so it's like you get the best of both worlds. Breakfast for dinner, dessert. That's up my alley. I love that. Yes. So Ray, are you ready to show the people your final dish?
Indeed, I am. All right. So, got the plating started. I like to actually do a little toasting of my fajitas. I use just a tad bit of the Earth Balance soy-free. I didn't act like I was buttering toast, just a light glide, just to get them nice and toasty the way I want, so I can hold it together. It's not a taco, but it's got that firmness. So I did pull the veggies out, but I wanted to save one of the best parts for you guys. Okay, so it smells delicious in here, as you know. And to go along with our shooters, I bring you our Blanco tequila. So we've got our hot peppers and onions, and just a dash. And I wish you guys could hear the sizzle, but it's got a little bit of sizzle on it. Now, depending on what I'm fixing, I might let the tequila sizzle in the oven with it. I think it was good for you guys to see that you can put it on while it's still hot and smoky. All right, so we've got our fajita here. Gonna put a couple of peppers over the top of it. Looks so colorful. And to top it off, pun intended, I am going to use some shreds from BioLife. Now, I did a recipe earlier this week, and so I used all the cheddar, and I wasn't sad about it because it was really good. So what I had left was Colby Jack and mozzarella. So I'm going to choose mozzarella. And for the plate, I had just some regular salsa I got from Trader Joe's, and I used sour cream from Kite Hill. See that? Kite Hill sour cream. And I put a little bit of chips on the side. I didn't want to be too greedy. It is a little late. You can hear that crispness in here. And as you can see, I've got the sour cream on one end. Hope you can see that. Got the chips. And we've got the cheese and the fajita. And that is all for me. You're on mute, Jess.
Hi. No, I was saying I like that. You drizzled the veggies with the tequila. Was that tequila?
Yes.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, we've
A
worked
little
hard.
sizzle.
Yes, we've worked hard, but we've had fun. And so now it is time to taste our dishes. So I'm going to taste my potatoes. Let's see.
I feel so bad. Family was raised in the South. I feel like I should say to you guys, like, have some.
Ooh, speaking of the South, let's see what this tastes like.
We want you to be able to enjoy these dishes at home. This is so good.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even bad.
You know, this hot sauce, this mango pepper habanero sauce, really good. I'm glad I got it for this recipe. Good looking out, Chef Hal.
Oh yes.
So good. This chipotle cheese sauce. This might be my new go-to. This is really good. It's smoky. It has a little bit of kick. I don't like super hot, but I like warmth, and I like smokiness, and so it has all that, and like the creaminess balances out perfectly. And these are so good.
Oh yeah. And this is like stew-like. This really is like a hearty, like lunch, dinner, whatever. Something that you can share with so many people. And might I add, very Southern, very.
Well, share it with me, please, because I like it.
I got you.
You were right.
So I'm good with it.
Yes, you're right. This tastes just like dessert. This is a cake with some chocolate sauce over it. So,
I love that like DIY Nutella you did with tahini and chocolate. So good. I love that sauce. It's so good.
So good.
Well, we want you to be able to enjoy all of these vegan meals and so many more. So this Veguary, please consider supporting a Black vegan recipe tastemaker, and pick up a new cookbook. And if you already have some cookbooks, chances are you probably haven't made everything in the book. So pick a new recipe to try. Pick several new recipes to try. I love Living Lively. Based off this recipe, I highly recommend. Haley Thomas also was a presenter at the 2020 National Afro-Vegan Virtual Conference. So she did a demo for her sweet potato tandoori tacos, and that recipe is on our website as well. So if you're looking to try out one of Haley's recipes before you purchase, go to the Afro-Vegan Society website blog, and her tacos are there, but highly recommend. So good.
Awesome.
Anybody else have cookbook shout outs? Show people cookbooks one last time before we wrap it up.
So again, I just did Rachel Allen's Vegan Eats, and what I love about this one is just so practical. Like I said, I went to it. I want something simple, especially when it comes to recipes. You know, sometimes recipe books, they can go the most. But Rachel Allen's is really simple, practical for your person that, isn't really a cook, but, want to tap their feet in the water and try out some nice dishes in the kitchen.
Love that.
Awesome.
Well,
so I bought the Lessian in 2014, I believe, which is the year that I actually went vegan. So I was going to check it out. And the reason why, it's not what you think. So I knew that, becoming vegan, it was new. No one in my circle was vegan. And, I was single at the time. So dating, I know the chances were great that I probably would find someone that might not be vegan, might not eat healthy or plant-based, or worse yet, would not be interested in healthier options. So a lot of this book, outside of the recipes, talks about relationships, having relationships with people who may not be vegan, and the changes that you go through, and if trying to get them some plant-based options. They have chapters in here that even have a lot of savory, heavy foods to try to show them that there are ways that you can still eat good and eat vegan. So it was a great book. I read through it a lot. Another thing that sold me was, being from Baltimore, I was more of a crabs person over a crab cake. Obviously, you don't necessarily have like a vegan crab so much as you do a crab cake. And there's a recipe in here. And the recipe actually was pretty good. So that was my first recipe that I tried. I've tried it with different things. I believe he does hearts of palm. I've since done it with jackfruit, just experiment it. But there's so many different things in here. And guys, the great thing about it is that you can manipulate these things how you want. Don't feel discouraged. Don't feel you don't know where to start. You absolutely do. Your best dishes, you can veganize. The only thing that takes time is learning how to re-season. You had to learn how to season to cook in general, right? It's the same thing. You're just learning all over. And it's so exciting. It's so exciting. Not every dish is going to be a win. Every dish is a win in general, but it's fun to experiment. You're going to use it anyway. I've never thrown anything in the trash can, okay, because I have it like that. But it's just fun. And then once you get that dish down pat, let me tell you something. And then once you get that dish that people in your family that eat meat request again and again, you got it then. You got it.
Yes, that is the goal. That is the goal, to win everybody in our lives over, not just because, it's just better for everyone. So if we can do that in like a community building, nourishing, just a way that builds positive memories together, cheers to that. And so we want to thank you all for being here with us to build some positive memories with us around vegan eating and vegan food. I want to thank you for all your comments, all your feedback, just your eyeballs. If you enjoyed this live stream, give this video a like. Follow us on Facebook if you're watching on Facebook. Like our page. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have so much more content available for you, and there will be a lot more content this month. So go ahead and subscribe today. And we want to announce the winners of our giveaway. So let me take a look right now. Okay, so the winners of our giveaway are Rochelle Parker, Silver Light, and Carol Wynn Green.
Yeah.
So if you are still on, thank you for entering. And what we need you to do is email afrovegansociety@gmail.com, and in the title, or in the subject, put Veguary Live prize, and then just email us that, say, hey, I was selected to win, and we will get back to you, figure out your sizes, figure out which item you want to select. And we thank you all so much for participating. Every time that we go live this month, we will be doing a different giveaway. We have some great brands who have signed up to do giveaways for us, and I think we'll be able to do another giveaway of some Afro-Vegan Society / Black Vegans Unite merch as well. So keep watching, keep participating. There are plenty more opportunities to win, and we thank you all so much for being here with us tonight. Does anybody want to say anything else before we sign off for the night?
No. Well, thank you for joining us, and please sign up for Veguary if you haven't already.
Yes, join, sign up, daily emails. Yeah.
And guys, if you try these recipes, and you post to your social media, feel free to tag us. We want to see. We don't want to just sit up here cooking for you, think you're going about your business. We're interested in your journey. So show us what you got.
Yes, share those recipes. We want to see good food.
And if you've been watching, feel free, or if any live you watch, screenshot and share on social media and let people know that you're participating in Veguary this year. All right. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here. And we will see you again next week for the second week of Veguary. Bye,
Have a good
everybody.
night.
Bye.
Good morning. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.